Somewhere inside you right now, a cell is dividing for the very last time. Not because it's sick, not because of anything you did, because it has counted, and it has reached its number. We tend to think of living forever as one problem, one disease left to cure, one frontier left to cross, and then someday we step through. But that isn't what the universe has built. Immortality isn't a single wall you could tear down. It's a row of them, one behind the next, each one tall enough to stop you on its own. Tonight we walk to the first wall and then we look past it at how many more are waiting. The first wall is inside almost every cell you have. In the 1960s, a scientist named Leonard Hayflick noticed something that overturned a long-held belief. People had assumed that human cells, given food and warmth, would divide forever. Hayflick watched them carefully and found the opposite. A normal human cell divides only about 40 to 60 times. Then it stops, permanently. It doesn't die exactly, it simply retires and never divides again. That ceiling has a name now, the Hayflick limit. And there is a reason for it written at the very ends of your chromosomes. Each one is capped by a stretch of protective code called a telomere. Think of the plastic tip on a shoelace keeping the strand from fraying. But every time a cell divides, that tip gets a little shorter. Shorter and shorter until there isn't enough left to protect the strand. And the cell, sensing the edge, shuts the door. A counter, ticking down, built into you before you were born. So, suppose we fix that. Suppose we rebuild the telomeres, reset the counter, let every cell divide as many times as it likes. Have we won? We haven't even reached the second wall because every single division is a copy and every copy is a chance to make a mistake. Trillions of times over a lifetime, your cells transcribe 3 billion letters of code, and each time a few come out wrong. Most of those errors are harmless. Some are not. They accumulate, quietly, invisibly, like dust settling in a room no one ever cleans. And there's something stranger. As cells age, some of them stop dividing but refuse to leave. They sit in your tissue, still alive, no longer working, leaking signals that inflame everything around them. Cells that won't do their job and won't step aside. The machinery that once renewed you slowly stops renewing. This is the second wall. Not a counter this time, but a tide. Damage rising faster than any repair can bail it out. Reset the counter and the tide still comes in. So, suppose we fix that too. Suppose we could catch every error, clear every worn-out cell, keep the whole system pristine forever. Now surely we've won. And here we reach the last wall. The oldest one, the one that was standing before there was any life at all to stand against it. The second law of thermodynamics. It says that in the universe as a whole, order always slides toward disorder. A sandcastle becomes a beach. A warm cup becomes a cool room. Never the other way, not on its own. You are a sandcastle that fights back. A living body is one of the most ordered things in existence. Trillions of parts arranged just so, holding a shape against a universe that pulls everything apart. And holding that shape costs energy. Every heartbeat, every breath, every meal is you paying a bill the universe never stops charging. To keep the order, you must burn. Now, could a mind with unlimited energy placing every molecule back by hand hold that order forever? Physics doesn't quite say never, but it says the price climbs without end, until forever becomes not impossible exactly, but forbidden by cost. A debt no living thing could ever finish paying. And that is the shape of the thing. Not one problem. 3. The counter, the tide, and the long, patient pull of entropy behind them both. Cure the first and the second is still there. Cure the second and the third was always there, waiting, older than the stars. That is why nothing lives forever. Not a single failure, A stack of separate laws, each one enough. But turn it around and look at what that really means. You are a pocket of order the universe was not required to allow. For a few decades, against three walls and the slow tide of everything winding down, your body holds its improbable shape. Trillions of parts in step keeping the pattern that is you. The universe tends toward dust. And yet here you are, briefly, burning bright against it. Not a mistake it will correct, but a rare and passing exception it permitted. You don't get forever. You never could. But you got to exist at all. To be for a little while the part of the cosmos that wakes up and knows it's here. That is not the sad ending. That is the staggering one. Next time we press our hand against something that feels truly permanent, the stone of the city around you, and find that it too was once alive. You carry the weight of stars. Look up.